AI, the worst criminal. I mean, the worst criminal in hip hop history. Um, I seen a couple of his interviews, and I was just like, why? Like, what made you say that? Like, what made you snitch on yourself? Basically, you know. They said he got all them years because he was in court slouching and huffing and puffing and like smirking and all that and not taking it serious. So the judge seen that and then slammed the gravel and told him the years he got. Like he addressed it like, yo, you think this is a game, this, that, and third. But without further ado, we're gonna get straight into the video.
It was
Shout out to
brought to
Hip
you by
Hop
the Rich
Madness.
Wallet. Stay tuned to find out more.
OBH Records, King of Ebb. I got my own record company. I signed myself. Check this out. There's a $500,000 on the table, man. This is a $500,000 on the table. I don't have no boss. I've never had a boss in my life. And listen, y'all know who he is. The notorious skinny.
What's crazy about that is I think he said in that video, he was like, yo, this is drug money. I said,
Me.
why did you say
And guess what? That's what I like about Skinny Me music, man. Skinny Me will go through a situation, and guess what? It's gonna be in the song. He's gonna make a song about it the same day. So I know that's why I feel it so much. I know it. When he said I killed the and I did that, I seen him do it. When he said somebody try to drop on me, not wrestling me out for the gun,
Man.
and I seen him do it. I know he did it for a fact. I went to war with the most dangerous people in my life. I went to their block, and we came to their block, and there was 6 of us. We was gonna murder everybody on the corner. I didn't know one of my friends was on the corner, and we fired on the corner. And guess who's on the corner? One of my friends. Turn the camera that way. No Grace Bros was on that corner.
Facts.
What happened, No Grace Bros?
Yo,
Man, just let that shit.
do ya like when it comes to like my question to y'all is when it comes to gangster rap, do you feel like people don't take you serious unless you snitch on yourself, basically? Like that's what I'm just starting to see. Like everybody want to talk about some gangsters moving silence and all this and all that, but it's like even the old heads that's from back then fell into the trap of basically snitching on themselves for like notoriety and street cred, and it's stupid.
Like,
Since its inception, the line between what's real and what's fake in hip hop has always been blurry. Often, rappers will conjure up tales from a treacherous past to illustrate not just how far they've come, but every potential hazard they had to avoid on the come up. And depending on if you're an older rapper like Jay-Z or a younger artist such as 21 Savage, these stories can vary wildly. But no matter the case, the general perception is that anything you talk about in your raps happened in the past. Because if you were still actively partaking in illegal activity,
not
it'd be
be-
pretty dumb to
yeah.
alert the cops. Particularly when your life as a rapper means that there's more eyeballs on you than ever before, right? Well, while this is common sense to most, there's a subset of hip hop where keeping it real goes wrong. Very wrong. And in recent years, far too many rappers have been a little too honest on their tracks. In essence, making them hip hop's dumbest criminals. And while one man stands above all as hip hop's dumbest criminal, let's first touch on some others who found themselves jammed up due to their own lack of foresight. Although you could argue that it might have been chalked up to youthful naivety, there's no denying that Tay-K did himself no favors before he was captured. After being placed on house arrest over a robbery gone wrong that saw a man lose his life, Tay-K decided to go on the run and release one of hip hop's hardest tracks, all while cutting off his electronic ankle tag. And as he put it on The Race, I was trying to beat a case, but I didn't beat that case.
Bitch, I
I did the race. Featuring other incriminating lyrics such as, we was plotting, y'all was trying to get the packing, get the packing. You get robbed for a fraction. Tay-K only made matters worse when he tweeted, this house arrest 12, they gonna have to catch me on hood. He was eventually tracked down in New Jersey after a prolonged period on the run. It was soon revealed that he'd killed another man while evading cops, and after excerpts from The Race were used as evidence, he was given 55 years in prison. Another artist who self-snitched while actively doing dirt on the streets was YNW Melly, with hits such as Murder on My Mind and Mixed Personality.
Yeah, when he made Murder on My Mind, I was vibing to it. But what caught my attention with it is I'm like, yo, why does it sound so real? Like, why does it sound like he actually did this? Like that really busts my head listening to that song. I don't know, like, and then they say he tried to set up his mom, and a lot of people think that he playing with that Melly versus Melvin, and he's really a little. I'm saying, little no, um, he need help honestly. honestly, I think he need help. I don't think he's joking. Like, I don't think he's joking with that shit, bro.
Alongside Kanye West, it was Murder on My Mind, which recounted the story of killing a former friend in cold blood that would seal his future. A year on from its release, Melly and her friends staged a drive-by shooting of their two friends and fellow YNW members, with the belief being that Melly was the man behind the trigger. As if that wasn't enough, he didn't exactly move without a trace, and the attempted cover-up was covered with his own fingerprints.
It looked like our YNW Melly might be cooked. They said,
man, they've been saying he's supposed to get out for like some time now, bro. Before you know it, it's gonna be like 4 or 5 years. Like just give him what he's supposed to get, like, or free him, like something.
that Melly's phone pinpointed him to around the area where the vehicle was traveling when it so-called got shot up. The ballistics of the quote-unquote shooting show that all the shots came from Melly's position in the car. They have surveillance footage basically showing Melly getting to that car in that same position. They also have the ballistics from the quote-unquote drive-by.
With a case that's strengthened by over 60 pages of DNA evidence, all signs suggested that Melly is looking at life imprisonment at least, if not the death sentence. Although by no means the hardest criminal by nature, Tekashi 69 qualifies, in that he ostensibly talked his way behind bars. After initially asking some members of the 9 Trey Bloods to appear in one of his music videos, 6ix9ine made gang culture into so much of his public image that he deluded himself into becoming one. Ambushed by his own gang and then indicted on racketeering charges, Tekashi quickly snitched and turned federal witness. Now, he may be released, but he's eternally looking over his shoulder, and what's more, his image has forever been tarnished. On the other side of the spectrum, we have an artist like Bobby Shmurda. Bobby came out self-snitching from the gate on Hot, from admitting that Mitch caught a body about a week ago, and a reference to his dead friend Shiesty, which was used by the cops. Shmurda wasn't lucky in the sense that his rise to fame coincided with the fact that he and his crew's phone lines were being tapped. Combined with his lyrics, the feds built a robust case.
But they said they knew that,
himself serving a 7-year bid. But where Tekashi was vilified, Bobby kept it honorable and thus kept his credibility. In fact, he cemented himself in the culture's good graces when he took a plea deal which entitled Rowdy Rebel to release early. "I did it for Rowdy. They offered me 5 and offered Rowdy 12, Bobby said in an interview. They said the only way they'll give him 7 is if I took 7 too. So, you know, I had to take one for the dogs. In the ranks of hip-hop's most loose-lipped artists, it doesn't get much worse than Rallo. Hailing from ATL and affiliated with Gucci Mane's 1017, Rallo's appearance on Vlad TV saw him talk about his involvement in the drug business.
I was the biggest drug dealer in the Bluff for a long period of time. I had the Bluff and I had Simpson. I had the best quality drugs and I also had large quantity for a lower price. So I was out beating all my competition around the way. I had all my dudes. We just built this big empire. A drug empire. When you come from the era, like, you don't feel like nothing wrong with it. The things that I do when I shot people or when I shoot people, I ain't feel like it was a bad thing to do because that's what we did all our life.
Trapped behind bars for the foreseeable future, Rallo has committed to never turn.
Like my question, like, do y'all feel y'all gotta basically snitch on yourself for street cred or some type of respect nowadays?
Informant, but for all intents and purposes, he arguably took the stand against himself. But if Rallo worsened his own predicament, the man that's being awarded the honors of hip-hop's dumbest criminal of all time has got to go to AR-AB. In every aspect of today's society, things evolve. So why should the way you carry your cash, cards, and other essentials around be any different? Thankfully, the Ridge is here to revolutionize the wallet and make those bulky, leather-bound products into a thing of the past. Sleek, minimal, and purposefully built to fit in your pocket, the Ridge have created the future of wallets, and before long, they'll have set the standard. Available in over 30 styles, including burnt titanium, aluminum, and carbon fiber, the wallet is almost unanimously beloved by those who buy it, with many customers saying that they never return. There was a time when AR-AB looked like he had a real shot of making it. A former battle rapper who aligned himself with Cassidy's Larceny family, AR-AB released a slew of critically acclaimed mixtapes and was tipped for a major label deal. A man who oversaw his own indie label OBH, AR was renowned for his authenticity, as when it came to Philly's illicit world, he was basically a crime kingpin. Nevertheless, AR got enough credibility and buzz in rap that he almost signed to Cash Money. And at the height of his visibility, he was referenced during Drake's beef with Meek Mill with Drizzy spitting, "I drove here in a Wraith playing AR-AB on back-to-back." Soon, AR went from being the hot local rapper to an artist with some serious credence in the game.
Like, did that kind of change people's perception of you?
Yeah. Everybody kind of like take me serious now. A lot of people know my street reputation. Their whole thought process of me is Ab don't really rap. We're just out here running around with guns and acting crazy. When Drake mentioned my name, it opened up a lot of ears who didn't know who I was or people who knew who I was. Now they say, you know what, let me listen to his music.
Although loosely affiliated and given what Baby referred to as the green light, AR-Ab and other members of his crew such as Dark Low never acquired a deal with Cash Money. And as Dark Low explained, they couldn't let go of the street life that had already made them a fortune.
Everybody thought we were signed. As far as I know, it was never no deal involved. It was just Stunner was like, I f with you. I wanna show you some love. I wanna just stand next to you. It was just about being around some real genuine
niggas, yeah.
With Dark Low saying that Drake was actually scared of AR-Ab, it seemed like he'd always struggled to really crack the mainstream. But whether fear came into it or not is actually up for debate, as in many ways, it seemed like if you were around AR-Ab, then his tendency to shoot his mouth off about everything he'd done in the streets could make you guilty just by association.
I made a lot of money. Not like drug lord, big meat money. I made hundreds of thousands of dollars on the street. I got little cousins, little brother who was already just shooting people. We had a rap group of like 4 or 5 artists, man. 2 of them in jail for murder right now. 2 different murders right now. And these happen to be the same guys I was with when me and Cassie got locked up for the murder. So these is my rap group people. It got that nasty in the streets.
Where they often say that real G's move in silence, AR-Ab basically carried around a megaphone for self-snitching. And as we see in the next clip, AR-Ab was so brazen with his criminal enterprise that he even outlined his plans for taking over a rival block.
We got like from the 20th Street all the way to Broad Street. It's an epidemic. We might take a block on the other side of Broad Street. Over there too. I might put some work out there. We on 20th Street. I'm thinking about going to 10th Street. Nobody gonna do nothing about it anyway once we get over there.
By 2018, AR-Ab's past and present caught up with him when he, along with his crew, were indicted for his central role in a major drug trafficking operation in 2021.
Like, why is that to even be talked about on camera? Like, I don't know, sir.
He received a sentence of 45 years, meaning that at the age of 38 years old, he'll be in his 80s before he's a free man.
Oh, shit. I thought it was 25. Ouch. What he said to him in Men's Society? You know you're fucked up, right? You know you're fucked up, right? God, 45 years?
Man again. Meanwhile, Skinny Me was recently hit with a life sentence of his own, and Dark Low is serving 7.5 years. As for AR-Ab's lengthy jail term, lawyer Mo Gangat believes that even that could have been avoided if he had just stopped doing interviews.
And what happened at AR-Ab's sentencing was a tragedy. The judge, before he announces the sentence, says, "Young man, you've been sitting in my courtroom listening to the statements of the victims, listening to the prosecutor discuss your crimes, and the entire time you've had your hands folded like this. You don't look contrite. You don't look like you respect this process. I have the ability here today to give you a range of sentences. It could be anywhere from here to 45. And what I'm gonna do, based on your behavior here today, I'm giving you the max." And if I was AR's lawyer, I gotta be in tune with my client. I gotta, before he goes in there, let him know that, bro, keeping it real goes wrong. You think you're gonna go in there, you're gonna stand tall. They won't break you if you act contrite. They'll break you if they give you another 20 years.
Although AR-Ab's story didn't pan out well for him, it did represent a turning point for cultural awareness of how to act when the cameras are on. And if there's any positive legacy that can be extracted from this lack of secrecy, it's that it has enforced a wariness around certain platforms. During an interview on Vlad TV, the very channel on which AR did so much of his self-incrimination, Sue Surf did all but name AR-Ab's name while speaking of the dangers of doing interviews and discussing street activity.
Might hold you up to a high standard. You got a couple indicted. You're a baiter, but you wouldn't say I got anybody indicted, but you fish. No. Some of my peers aren't fast enough or aren't intelligent enough to know when this bait being swung their way.
If the police ever try to seize any sort of footage, I would deny it. I would fight it.
You don't got to. It can go straight to YouTube.
From TK to AR-Ab, the tendency for rappers to self-snitch is unfortunate.
Nah, but what he's saying is, for them to use it in court, it's still his property. It's still his video. He still has copyrights to the video. So he will fight it in the sense of, yo, y'all can't use that video. Even if they did like try to play it on that.
Still prevalent in hip-hop today. Still, with any luck, the many petitions that have been signed to ban hip-hop lyrics from being used in court will be implemented soon. But before this happens, rappers need to help themselves by not placing themselves in that situation in the first place.
Yeah, that self-snitching stuff gotta stop, cause then it's like motherfuckers are self-snitch and then get in that situation and be like, yo, they don't want to see us win. It's like, bro, you just snitched that you shot 9 people. Make it make sense. You know what I'm saying, let me know what y'all feel in this whole situation of self-snitching, and do you feel like you gotta self-snitch nowadays for street credit or like respect? With that being said, I appreciate y'all for all the love and support. Love is love, and I'm gonna catch y'all in the next video.